friend. Welcome to Wisdom Living. It's Thursday, and we want to take you on a journey of thinking a little bit deeper about everyday life, right? Today, we want to talk about worry. Are you worried about the future? Are you, as a single older person, worried about what might happen, what could happen? You worry about your health status, you worry about your finances, you worry about not being able to take care of yourself as you get older and not having anyone to provide some assistance. Oh my goodness. These are very valid concerns as we move into this newer stage, the end of our journey in the stratosphere. So let's have a conversation about that, okay? Because I firmly believe that when you talk about things, you might get a newer, clearer perspective. And this is what we as women do best. We share information, we partake, we collaborate, we're in sisterhood, and then therefore we can share the load. And worry is a load. If you don't know who I am, my name is Maggie. I'm a retired nurse practitioner, psychiatric, and I have been here in Panama, retired full-time since January 2023. I'm about not even 2 months into my third anniversary. So welcome. If you enjoyed these kind of exchanges, that kind of deeper introspection, I invite you to like the video, share it with your friend, and subscribe to the channel. Yes, we are trying to get to 20K, but hey, listen, I believe in miracles. Let's just say. I was watching a therapist and also a psychologist this morning talk about the anatomy of stress, right? And she ended up talking about stress, anxiety, and worry. In my practice and as a nurse and nurse practitioner, we dealt with a lot of anxiety, folks with, sometimes extreme anxiety. It's like the inability to see life events as what they might be, challenges or opportunities. But when you are in this state of mind where everything is heightened stress, right? That something that I might perceive to be routine, this person sees it as being overwhelming. And there is the absence of very dynamic, helpful strategies to be able to manage the stress. Because let's face it, life itself is stressful, but your perception of the stress, it was causes the anxiety. The sense that you are out of control, that you don't have what it takes to manage the situation, and you're at the mercy of the events. And then therefore, you also start to experience physical symptoms because, stress is something that you perceive, or it could be something that could be dangerous for you. For example, let's say a hurricane, right? A hurricane could be a stressful event because it can cause damage. If I see a snake, if I'm afraid of snake, I could perceive the snake as being um, a stressful thing that causes me stress. But what do I do to manage that? I wear proper attire, boots. I stay away from critters. That's why I'm on the 38th floor. No critters. So the thing that could cause you anxiety is the stress. It's a stressful event, something that you perceive as being threatening, right? And as I said, life itself, relationships, jobs, lack of money, poverty, disease, right? Those are all stressful events. Now, how you react to the event can cause the anxiety, as I mentioned, your perception, not your inability, but your perception that you don't have what it takes to manage the anxiety, the event, the stressful event. And then you start developing physical symptoms, insomnia, increased heart rate, gastric discomfort, and all that. But worry, in my view, is more of a chronic lower stress, anxiety state of mind. It doesn't mean that you feel overwhelmed with the perception of what could be seen as a threat, but worry is more a low key, low stress, but for something that could be happening in the future. And I hope I didn't take you around the bend and confuse you between stress. Stress is not always a negative. If you're going to, for example, give a speech, you might feel stressful. Oh, I'm stressed. I'm a little anxious, right? I'm like that. If I'm giving a talk, a positive type of stress is like I'm a little jittery, and that little shot of adrenaline just makes me more alert, and I can, wow, and I can perform better. So stress is not always bad, right? But what is, because when that adrenaline and cortisol, get into your system and you feel like perk, it's like when I get a shot of caffeine, I feel bright-eyed, my mind is clear, that I feel I can perform. Okay. But if I'm going to give a talk and I perceive that to be stressful, but once I start talking, I'm performing, then my stress level reduces. I do my thing, people clap, and then it's done, right? Everything comes back to homeostasis, we call it, which is baseline. But if that stress continues to cause you to have those symptoms, if it's unabated, meaning it doesn't come down to baseline, or you are in a situation where it's one thing after another, right? Event, disease, your divorce, children, death, and it's like boom, boom, boom. You never get a chance to come down to homeostasis. Now that is harmful. Unrelieved stress can be harmful. It affects your heart, your brain, your kidneys, everywhere. So your body physically can hurt as a result of prolonged stress. But stress in itself is not a bad thing. It's how you manage it and whether you have the ability to come off of that high and come down. Okay. So anxiety is like the physical symptoms that you feel in your experience, and then you get, the jitteriness, or your heart rate, you can't sleep, you can't eat, you are just pacing back and forth. No one can live healthily in a situation like that. But let's talk about worry, because I want to address that. I'm sure somebody's going to say, get with the program. I think it's the same person who says, get on with it, get to the point. What is the point? I have been trying to get to the point because you have to understand the intersection between stress and worry. That's where anxiety sits. And that's what I want to talk to you about, what we can do to manage that, because you're getting older. You have no control over that, right? The body is aging. You have no control over that. Remember, I said that you can have breast implants, you can stretch, you can pull, you can inject. It's still going down, sis. Believe it or not. Now it's facial yoga. Yeah. To make sure you don't have the lines. Seriously? Oh my God. I'm just, okay. But as you get older, chances are you're gonna get sick. You're going to have less money, most of us, to live on. You're going to go through losing family members, relationships. You've been an empty nester. You may have kids who have their own lives, and so they should live in different places. So there is a sense of isolation that is not through no fault of your own. That's just the way life goes. Then you have the health challenges that could befall us. We don't know. So if we're sitting here looking down, it's kind of bleak. We come from a society where individualism is celebrated. The woman, you do it all. You can do it, boy. You get accolades for multitasking, for doing it all. But now you're in your 60s, 70s, we really can't do all of that. Your body said, no, ma'am. No, sir, we can't do all that. You need to rest. You need recovery time. Your body is not the way it was when you were in your 30s. I'm sure you've noticed that, right? But but the thing is that's adding, that compounding our issue that I'm talking to my audience right now is that we had the nerve to move abroad. Now, moving abroad is something a lot of us have done because we wanted our money, retirement little coin to stretch further. I know that was one of my concerns. I didn't want to end up in a American style long-term care facility. I was reading this morning that these people who have bought into the CCLC continuous care community concept and have spent, you have to give a big deposit and then you buying the peace of mind that as you age, no one's going to kick you out. Somebody's going to be there to attend to you. Well, that company went out of business, filed for bankruptcy. So all the money that they had put up front, some people said 900 some $1,000 to buy into it, gone. So if those folks thought, well, I don't have to worry anymore. I'm going to take my nest egg and give it to this company, give it with their assurance that I will be taken care of. And then now, so when that happened, one died, and 6 weeks later, the other one died. Okay. So what do we do with this worry? And I just said we had the nerve to move abroad. So now you're adding on to the stress of living in a different country with people speaking a different language, with the mindset is different. The concept of long-term care and aging is different here in Panama. Now, I'm sure it's different in Asia and other places because here it's about the family takes care of the old folks. Right, here we are, single, old, alone, here. We don't have that family support. Do you think that is adding to the stress of just existing, of just growing old? What do you think? I think so. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Come on. This is Wisdom Living. So our worry is legitimate. We're not crazy for saying, oh my God, what's going to happen? I was talking to a sister during the retreat and she asked me some questions. I know she's looking down. I know that she's concerned. But how much information do we have? And how can we mitigate the worry? And I could tell you that's why SWRA is here, but I don't think that would give you that much comfort. And I hope as we grow, as we develop, it will hopefully lessen your worry. But the worry is something that you look at and you're like, oh my gosh. Because I can tell you, as somebody who worked in long-term care, I worked in those, well, not work, but I was associated with some of the continuous care communities. And the two that I came in contact with, they did a good job, but you needed money. I could not go in a place like that. And plus, I didn't like the whole atmosphere of always little program here, program there. I don't like to be scheduled. I don't want anybody to tell me this is what we're going to do. I don't like that. I kind of like to move at my own pace. It's like sisters will tell you, if I feel like staying in my bed all day, I want to be able to do that. I don't want anybody saying, oh, it's time for your bath. We used to do that to the people in the nursing home. They used to get them up at 4:30 in the morning because the CNA has the bath schedule. And if she doesn't start at 4:30, she's not going to get all of them bathed. No bueno. I don't want that. I don't want that. So our worry is legitimate. So we worry about just aging. We worry about the loneliness, the aloneness. We will not be lonely, but we are alone. There's a difference, right? We worry about the potential for medical situations, just normal aging process, normal wear and tear, the hips, the knees, the shoulders that are going to go bad, that you may have to have surgery on. We worry about our mobility, the ability to walk on our own. We were at a retreat. Some of the sisters had a little difficulty getting around. That's part of aging. That's what happens. It's nothing they did. That's just wear and tear. The joint is old, just as old as you. Your heart is just as old as you. And I tell people, you can liken your body to a car. I know it's not very sexy, but things happen and things have to be replaced and fixed. The the thing that's adding to our worry is the being in a different place, being an expat, being an immigrant. That is a stressful event, situation. You are in a different place. I remember talking to my brother when he was here, and then he says, there is the sense that we don't belong anywhere. You don't think that's stressful? That nobody is giving you an opportunity to be planted, to have what the Panamanian call raíces. Raíces is like your roots. Some people struggle with that. Immigrants struggle with that a lot. You can talk to the kids. People like me may not talk about it as much, but our kids do. Are we Americans? Or are we from another country? The other country is going to look at you like, well, you left, what's the word I'm looking for? You're not one of us anymore because you left. And then you come here, oh no, we don't want you either. So you floundering with no sense of being planted. And then now, with the current situation that we are experiencing, if you're a certain shade, it's even worse. You don't belong. Nobody wants you anywhere. Do you think that adds to worry and stress? We talk about it here. The threats, remember, worry is about perceived threats in the future. The political uncertainty of when somebody could decide to drop a bomb or something. You worry about that? I was talking to a lady the other day. She was like, I wanted to go to this place and then this happened. I wanted to go to that place and this happened. Now I'm coming to Panama. I said, listen, something could happen too. There are no guarantees. So threats are all around us. Health, financial, situational, where we are, cultural, political, threats, threats, threats. Okay. Now that we know what could cause us to worry, the anatomy of worry is to have heightened concern about a potential threat that could happen in the future. If it's happening now, you can get anxiety from it. But if it's perceived, because there's no guarantee you're going to get sick, but you worry about what if, the what ifs, that's really a good point about the anatomy of worry, right? It's perceived. It doesn't have to be reality, right? If you are battling multiple diseases, this is stress and you're feeling it. But if you say, oh, I'm battling all this disease, but what if I get to the point where I can't take care of myself? That's where the worry comes because it's something in the future that you perceive to be a future threat, right? So what do we do with this? Because wisdom, remember, is being able to tackle a current situation based on the experiences you had previously with other situations that you learned from. Say, oh, when this happened, I did that. Maybe that will work now for this situation. But we're talking about the future. Okay, let's dissect that, right? The body, let's think about the body getting older and going down. I like to use that. The car is aging. What can you do about it to mitigate the worry? Because that's what you want to do. Because you don't want to be in a constant state of worry because then you have epinephrine and cortisol constantly in your system, and that is damaging. So what you can do to mitigate that, to reduce and lower that, I'm not saying it's going to get to zero, probably not, but you can make it manageable. What can you do to mitigate the body going down? The body's going to go down. But can you do something to kind of keep it in better shape? That when something happens, it's not going to be major. What could you do? Take care of your temple. Take care of the temple. Don't say, oh, I'm in my 70s. It's too late for me. It's never too late for you. Take care of it. Sleep, water, no alcohol, movement, exercise, swim, walk. Nutrition. Okay, I rest my case. Play with your food. Eat at home. All those of you who feel so, I got a chef. Well, I hope your chef is cooking healthy for you. You can tell him to. So there is something you can do to mitigate how this body is going to age. It's not that whether it's going to age, it's how. I was telling someone, you say, oh, a stroke, a stroke, a stroke. I say, yeah, you can have a mini stroke, you can have a big stroke. It's what happens after you had the stroke. Can you walk? Can you talk? That's going to drastically affect your life, your quality of life. And when that happens, who's going to help you? Now, there's the worry. Join SWRA, create community. I'm giving you what you should do to mitigate what's going to cause the worry, right? Because you can't keep yourself from going old, but you can control how you old. How you grow old, right? How you age. So there's a lot you can do to maintain, okay? Now, what about potential threats of disease? Well, I don't ever like to mention the C word because I believe we have power in the mouth and I don't ever want to say that. Let's say you have one of the C's. Treatment, you need support, sisterhood, SWRA. Other diseases, dementia. Ooh, that's a big one you have to worry about. I'm talking and then words, I'm not saying the D word either. C and D's are bad letters. But I can see signs of not dementia, but of my brain getting, aging. Well, your brain is a muscle like everywhere else. So if your heart is getting old, your brain's getting old too. Now, we know that as human, we have more capacity to use more of our brain than we do. But one of the things that I read one time is that how we were celebrated for multitasking. You're helping the kids with the homework, you're working on a project tomorrow, the cat needs your help, the dog needs to walk, you know what I'm saying? And you're like, "Ee, ee, 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 ee." And people say, oh man, that woman, she's a superwoman. She can do it all. She can sit here and do 5 things at the same time. Well, that's not healthy for your brain. I remember reading that. They say, no, 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 no. It's like you're firing different things at your brain. Your brain's like, oh. Have you ever thought about that? I didn't until I read that you're just short-circuiting your brain because when you send a signal, let it do this. When it's finished, do the other one because the signal comes and then you act. But if you keep saying, oh, I'm doing this, oh, and then I switch over here, then I switch, no bueno. So we have caused damage to our brain by the way we live, our lifestyle. Don't even get me started with the nutrition and what we do, what we eat, the chemicals we have around our house, the air. So what can we do to mitigate when we get sick? Get in community. Don't be the person when I ask, is there anybody I can call for you? Nope, I don't have anybody. I don't have any friends. I don't talk to anybody. Nothing to be celebrated, sis. This is not normal. When you start getting old, you need to make an effort to make friends. That's why I try very hard to get the sisters in SWRA. I want you to get closer and closer and closer. It's one thing to say, hey, to someone at the metro station, and it's another thing to have a sister, hey, sis, how you doing? Do you want me to cook something for you? Do you need some help to go to the doctor? That's a different level of sisterhood. And that's what you should be this friend for someone so that when your turn comes, somebody will come and see about you, bring you something to drink, clean you, make sure you get somebody. And in my case, I want to have people around that we can call to say, oh, so-and-so needs help. Can you dispatch this person? That's what we're trying to do. What are some other things that cause us worry? Loneliness? You don't have to be lonely. I like being alone, but I'm not lonely. So that's why sometimes you have to make yourself go out. Make yourself go serve someone else. It's not just volunteering. People talk about, oh, I'm going to volunteer, just, jump around with the kids and makes them feel good. Well, you can volunteer with your own sisters. Volunteer to sit with someone who is not feeling good. Volunteer to sit with the husband of a sister who may have a little dementia so she can have a break. Volunteer to go do shopping for a sister who can get out. Yes. If you want a friend, be a friend. Thank you. So what about the worry about what could happen here in Panama or wherever you are, Ecuador? Sis, one thing hopefully you've learned is that there are some things that are out of our control. We do not control the political landscape, all the things that are happening over there. Yeah, we need to vote. If they ask us to write our Congress people, even though I don't know if it's worth it or not, but do your part. But the rest of it is out of your control. Men will continue to be greedy, evil, and not care about human beings or human lives. I can't control that. I always said, if God allows you to do something to hurt me, go ahead. If he allows it, go ahead. And at this point, I cannot worry about my life so much anymore because I'm on my way out. Now, whatever I can to secure something for, I don't have grandkids and I'm very happy about that. But whatever I can do to secure a better future for someone else, if it's within my power, I'll do it. But don't run from Panama and go to Ecuador because you think Ecuador is better. Run from here to run to Mexico because you think Mexico is better. I don't know. I don't know if Mexico is better. That's why you do your homework before you get over here. And when you get over here, you become a good citizen, when I say citizen, not literally, but somebody who's living in the country. Be present, embrace the culture, love the people. Don't badmouth the country. If you don't like trash, get out. You don't need to go out there and blast them. That's going to reduce your stress. Once you immerse yourself, it reduces your stress. And get clear about your commitment to Panama or wherever you are. But if you're like an ever-going tourist and you're going from here, they're like a little butterfly. People talk about Kenya and going here and going there. I'm like, yeah, these are good places to visit. But Panama is home. Panama comes to the top. Every time I look at other countries, yes. But that's me. Do it for you, sis. Wherever you decide to land, be planted, be present, be committed. That is going to reduce your stress. Engage with the issues of the people and do your part. Then you don't have to worry about being the expat because if you make friends with the local, they'll take you under their wings. You'll be under their protection. There's so much peace that comes with that. Just keeping yourself a low profile. Don't be loud and entitled. Oh my God, I just like cringe when I see that. Somebody walks into a store and they start demanding, treating the staff all kind of ways. And I'm like, and I know somebody said, oh, I wanted to talk to them, but the workers say, oh, don't worry about it. We've been dealing with them for so long. I would have to say something. That's just me. So you can reduce your worry by how you live in your adopted country that you decided to emigrate to. No one asked you to come. You made the decision. So manage your worry, manage your stress. So we talked about managing the worry of the aging body, what you can do. Managing the what ifs of if I get sick, sisterhood, SWRA. Managing the what if the political situation that can happen to Panama. Be present, be engaged. What else can we worry about? Oh, well, the dementia to me is not mental, but it's a physical condition. So that part of the managing the medical situation. In case of dementia, it's a little bit different because dementia can be very progressive to where it gets to Alzheimer's, which is one type of dementia. But that one, there is no cure and it ultimately kills you. Are you okay knowing that you're gonna die, right? Because that starts there too. If you're trying everything you can to live forever, you're adding to your worries, sis, and I can't help you with that. Because if you're in your 60s, 70s, 80s, there's a pastor who used to always end a radio program with, Lord, help us to live this day in the light of eternity. That means eternity could be the next minute. We are living by faith. The time that we are living are just precious because we don't know when, boom, something's going to happen. You could look as healthy as I do and then go to sleep and not wake up, get hit by a truck, drop of a heart attack, a massive stroke. Listen, that's part of the aging. And even if it's not aging, young people who drop dead. There's a family I know, their son was playing baseball. He went to sleep and didn't get up, didn't wake up. So every single moment you have is precious. So why would you spend it worrying about things that you can't control? Sis, the takeaway here is to manage what you can and let the rest be. Hopefully you believe in a higher power, whatever you want to call that higher power. You need that anchor to settle your heart, your emotions, to say, I am not in control. I am just a little speck in this whole cosmos. I am not that important. And I just want to leave my mark, whatever, me talking to you, that's a mark. It doesn't have to be something major. I don't have to be a queen this, queen that. No. But I know I'm impacting people's lives, maybe not in a huge way. I'm not a multimillionaire. I don't think I want to be multi. I just need 2 million. I said to God, you know I'd manage it well, right? Why don't you just only two? Only two. I would buy this apartment where I don't have to worry about where I'm staying and then be done with it. So, sis, sir, please, worry is not, well, extreme worry is not warranted. Do you think I'm talking to you? I don't worry sometimes? Yeah. I said to God, I wish you would just let me go to sleep and not wake up. I do not worry about people not finding me. I talked to Sonia. Sonia said, well, I want them to find me within 24 hours. No, I want you to find me in 3 days when it's done. That's me. Because I don't want the hustle and bustle of dragging me to a hospital and IVs and tubes and this. I don't want that. I would love to just drop and it be done. And I think a lot of us wish for that. But I don't want, you see, self-talk. This is a number 4, we should say. Oh, I'm sorry you don't like that. Self-talk, talking to yourself. Stop talking positivity. Come on, Maggie. No need to worry about this. Let's put some Andrea Bocelli or Sarah Brightman music around. Let's cook something yummy, play with my food. That's therapy for me. What is therapy for you? Is it walking? Is it yoga? Is it travel? Whatever it is, do it, sis. The consequences of worrying about things you can't control are big. People who are constantly in a sense of worry, you need to be on so many medications. You get palpitation, you get headaches, you get GI stuff, you can't eat certain things. No bueno. We're doing it to ourselves. So meditation, singing, praying, do it. Do it, do it, do it. So I hope you enjoyed this conversation, sis. This is wisdom living, and it is wise to learn to manage the uncertain future because we don't know what's waiting for us. All the stuff we talk about in SWRA, cremation, emergency preparedness, yes, we need to be engaged. But at the end of the day, everything, despite everything that we are doing, we're not in control of what might happen. We just need to put ourselves in the best spiritual, physical condition that we can so that we can tackle whatever this crazy world throws at us. Because we are resilient, we are strong, and we will continue to be so. So I hope you enjoyed this talk, sis. God loves you. You know I love you. Au revoir. À la prochaine. Bonne journée. Bye.